way to this roller. Hands behind your head, shoulder blades on top of the roller here. Yep. And you're going to lift your bottom up. And he's just going to roll back and forth this way. And we have people doing this kind of thing with tennis balls, with racket balls, with this thing on a ball. But essentially, all we're trying to do is get him to be really specific about the fact that that's where we want him to start to move better. And we can have him drop his knees just slightly to one side or another to try and increase a little bit of rotation on one side and then the other. But we're trying to just get him to open up his chest, because this eventually gets stuck like this. You know, your pec muscles here shorten and so forth. And we're trying to get him to open up his mid-back so that he can start to rotate around his mid-back eventually. So that's exercise number 1. Exercise number 2, I'm going to slide this away from him. And I think I'm cheating here a little bit because Dave here is just finished a little experiment where he went from did an experiment with some golf instruction and with fitness with us, and had a little contest with himself to see if he could decrease his handicap such that Ping was going to donate Callaway was going to donate clubs to the local first tee. And he went from a 20 index to a 13. So he just won 6 sets of clubs for youth golf here in Sacramento based on his hard work. And that was in the course of, yeah, very impressive. The next step's going to be even harder when it gets down to a scratch, because then we'll get another 13 sets of clubs. So I'm going to have him lie on his side. Go ahead and lie on your right side. And lie on your right arm if that's comfortable. There you go. Okay, so we're going to use that principle that if something bends one way, it has a hard time moving in another way. So he's going to bring his knees up towards his chest. And then bring your right arm out in front of you, if you would, if that's more comfortable. There you go. So bring your knees up as far as you can. So when I do this, this makes his back bend a little bit forward. He can't turn his back very well, so now I'm going to have him take his left arm, lift it up to the sky, and then drop it back behind you, and bring it back up again. And so as you do that, you're just going to exhale and let your body follow the arm. Good, and then come back up, and then drop it again. And with every exhale, you relax a little bit more, and you get a little more rotation. Because we bent his low back a little bit, he's going to get a lot more rotation in his upper back, and we're going to get something that's perfectly parallel to a golf swing. He's going to start rotating exactly where we want him to rotate. So we'll do this for 30 seconds or a minute or so. And those 2 exercises, again, for those of us that are afflicted with kind of computer disease, are incredibly effective at just getting us more upright. Okay, we've talked about the mobility and so forth, and this is the posture thing too. This guy hits it farther than this guy does. Good, thanks. Got it? Hop on up. No, we got it. We got it. I'm sorry. I promised only an exercise or 2, but you're doing so good. So when we work on balance, again, we're on the floor and so forth. This is one of the toys that we brought that we use in order to, we're going to see how you're doing with on this thing. So he's going to stand on that. This thing's awfully wobbly. It's tough to kind of stand on there and balance, but this would be one of the next steps. Just get something that's a little bit unstable and see if you can't kind of stay up there for the 30 seconds. And if you can, so Dave, you're going to do, if you would, why don't you do a glute squat? So we're going to do this little squat where he's reaching forward and getting a little more off balance, and that's right. That's right. This is how you get the scratch right here. That's right. Perfect. Very good. No, that's good. That's good. This is really hard. Yeah. And so we're incorporating as best we can several things. He's working on his balance. It's awfully wiggly. He's working on his balance. He's working on his posture. He's working on the strength in his glute, and he's working on the stability throughout his entire leg and trunk. Once we get there, then we start to make it a little bit more powerful. We can have him start to use some weights. We can have him reach farther. We can actually have him start to pull on things so that he starts to build up the strength in his back at the same time. Okay? So